So, how you doing? We are in here working on Bodie's XL-76 again, seeing if we can figure out what's going on. She seems to be starving for fuel. Just keeps starving and starving and starving. You know what I mean? So we're going to go through the fuel system today and see if we can find any sort of issues. Alrighty, so hey, check it out. All right. So here's what I've done so far. I think I'm gonna have to pull it back, the whole carb off though, and go over it. She did have pressure, but I couldn't tell if it was vacuum or pressure in here. So whenever I pulled it off, like you could hear the air gasping through, you know what I mean? So it was either vacuum or pressure, one or the other. So there's a possibility the fuel cap isn't venting properly, especially if it's a vacuum. If it's under pressure, then it should be okay. But if that was a vacuum issue, then the fuel cap may not be venting and causing like a suction, not allowing fuel to flow. So I got the fuel cap out right now, and I also pulled the fuel line out. So we're going to check the duckbill valve on the fuel cap, but we found another problem. So when I pulled the fuel line out, she's sitting over here. This is what we found. There ain't no fuel filter on this. So I'm willing to bet the fuel filter fell off and is laying inside the tank somewhere. So we probably got a carburetor that's full of crud right now. I'm gonna have to go through it and everything, but I think what I'm gonna do is get another fuel filter on this and go through the carburetor and change the duckbill valve, or at least check it and make sure she's flowing properly. But I think this might be our problem right here. We probably sucked dirt up and plugged that carburetor up tight. So yeah, we got some work to do. Alrighty. So I got the top off the carburetor, and that screen, there's something in there. Can't tell what it is, but I cannot see the screen. So I'm gonna see if I can find another screen or get it cleaned out or something. And that might be all that's plugged up. So hopefully that's all it is, at least. You know what I mean? So let's get her cleaned up. This will be the second time I've done this. All right, so I got the carb cleaned up. Well, I didn't take the carb off. I just kind of cleaned it with it on. I put a new diaphragm in it because this one was looking kind of rough. It looked like somebody installed it incorrectly previously and took it apart and put it back together. Looks like they got them put it together backwards. Put this above the gasket, and this is actually below the gasket. So she's a little boogered up, so I went ahead and replaced it, but I didn't have any more of this type. I have the black ones, that come in the kit, so I put one of those in, and then I put a new fuel filter on. I didn't put one of the little cheap ones. These fuel filters you can get real cheap are junk. This is probably what fell off in the tank. I didn't get it out. Well, I couldn't get it out, but this is probably what fell off in the tank. It barely goes on the fuel line. So I put one of the better ones on, you get from Proline. They got the cotton or filter or whatever. That's what's on here now. So we're gonna try it now with this setup and see if that helps with our problems. So what do you say we fire it up and see what happens? Again. I don't think that fixed our issue. I think we're going to be modifying the carb, but just to make sure, I think we're going to be either modifying the carb or having to figure out a heavier reed. So let's put it in the wood and see what happens, and we'll go from there. It's probably going to fall on its face, though. I'm pretty certain that's what's going to happen. Let's see. Now, just in case you're wondering, I am fighting reed flutter in order to get these saws pull more RPM. That's my issue. I'm fighting reed flutter. So one of these days I'm going to see about putting a much bigger or much better reed setup on them to try to get that reed flutter taken care of. You know what I mean? So we just got to deal with it for now. She definitely tunes weird. It's not like a traditional saw. You have to kind of find the sweet spot, if you know what I mean. So it's definitely kind of weird to tune, but they do perform pretty good. But I thought you guys would like that little piece of information. I am fighting reed flutter to try to get more out of them. Alrighty. All right, let's see what happens. I think the carburetor is going to be modified. The first carburetor we had on it was definitely able to pull enough fuel, but this one doesn't seem to be able to. she is. She's actually working. I wasn't expecting that. So, hey, I think we're ready to move on to further testing. Chain could definitely use some work. Whenever the clutch blew apart, that chain ran across the vise. So I can tell that the edge is definitely going on that thing. So we're gonna have to sharpen it up here before we do another test run. But so far, so good. She's tuning up like she should. I'm pleased. Aren't you, Jakey? You happy about it? Yeah. Yeah, big piece of wood. But there we go. A little testing on the XL-76. I can tell the muffler's slowing it down. And, you know, it is what it is. She's definitely more pleasant. She's not so noisy like this, you know what I mean? So sometimes noise isn't so necessary. But we'll try different mufflers on it here and see which ones perform better. But right now, I'm just happy to have it running and cutting, you know? So I think we're gonna stick it on this oak tree, and we'll make some cuts with it on the oak and see how she does, like this. But I'm gonna have to sharpen it up first. So, yeah. So there we go. I'm pretty happy now. She's running. She's running. I am so happy. The chain's crap. You know what I mean? But hey, at least it's cutting now. I've got probably, I bet you I got 8 hours just trying to figure this thing out. So it's just been one little thing after another, you know what I mean? But hey, we're ready to keep going with it. So let's put her into some wood and put it to the real test. She definitely needs the ring seated. You'll see it pick up RPM after the ring seat, but at least we're good for now. You know what I mean? Yeah. But alrighty, hey, we'll catch you on the next one. Later.